monkey man. Don't worry about your dress, love. It's a long way above the water.
Penina's fearless. Look at her. I wish I had danced.
You missed it. Take a shot of him, bro. Whoa! Come on, Brendan. Too close. Brendan. Look. Woo! Then the other way. Come down close, mate. Let it fall in the water again.
It's too dark, lovey. I saw him on the...
Daddy, we can take it up! Daddy's coming in the knot!
With this thing. That's really are you? No, it's too dark, Mother, so... Yeah, that's right. Quite comfortable too.
Look better.
Penina's frozen. Look, she's on. She's fearless. She's fearless. Little Penina's fearless. Really is. Oh, she's frozen now.
Oh, what? Do you need to meet up? I've got a bit of Use one of these little
You haven't got it going, please. I'm going to again.
If you let me handle everything.
When you handle it, you get injured.
Alright, then you just do it. There you go.
No, you wash it, please, and then I can
If you want me to do it, then you do it, man. You just
Well, this is a marital dispute here. This is a major interaction. Punch him, Craig! Punch him!
Every time he looks after Brendan, Brendan ends up bleeding somewhere.
I'll hold him, you Welcome to the...
That exchange of fists. Are you a happy boy again now? Yes, we've got a big plaster. A big plaster on your knee. Making it uncle.
Right there, roimata.
Rip it off. Look, baby, roimata having her breakfast.
He's giving you commentary, Bonnie.
She's having her breakfast like a good girl.
This is a hectic breakfast in the Smith family. What do you want? What are you whinging about? Come on. Pop that on there.
More plaster on it.
Got my shoes.
Nice. Nice. Oh, lovely.
Come on,
I'm
this
just
one,
going to go
eat that one.
just over the hill here.
And it's
I'm
gone,
gonna
you can
start
have
digging
jam
a
on the other
hole.
one, or you don't have to have jam.
Come here.
Roimata.
Today is Saturday the 30th of January 1988. We just had a few pictures of people having breakfast, and now today we'll be going to have a hangi, and here you see Craig out there and what's his name, Brian, preparing the ground, clearing the area so they can dig a hole to have a hangi.
We'll have to come and take a shot of us starting to dig the hole.
Yeah, I'll come over later. Okay, spade.
This ground's blinking hard. Should really do it in a sandy place still.
Yeah, I think, it's probably a mistake to put it in the mud, huh?
It's really
Clay.
hard. The ground's so hard.
Yeah, I think we can just have it down by Derek's tent.
Yeah, I think that'd be good place. Oh, let's abandon here and go down by the tent. Yep.
Okay, here they come.
Abandoned our original position to make the hangi. We've settled on another position in a much more hospitable environment where the ground is easier to dig. Here we have Big Brother Vaughan and his two willing helpers starting to mark the ground.
Big enough there, Joe?
Yeah, it's better to make it too big than too small. We don't want to burn the grass up too much. We'll keep the surrounding grass wet. Not so many rocks.
Oh, good thing you had a hearty breakfast.
Here's the boss of the whole show giving us a few directions. Number one foreman, as it were. Let's come back to the scene when we've made a little bit more progress.
Would it be good? We can get the chainsaw and chop it up.
We can. Collecting some firewood now. Our hole is pretty well finished.
Do we want this as wide as it is long?
Oh, this is no good, look.
It's alright, Justin's going to be bringing some more wood in a moment.
I think we take one more along here.
Tulua, number one umu maker. Not only our fashion model, but our umu maker all the way, especially brought in from Samoa.
Shut up, you.
Brother Vaughan digging some more sods, making sure the hole's big enough not to burn up all Boss's grass. Doesn't matter. It's better too big than too small.
The whole baraka, you said?
But I mean, Brendan can, this would take Brendan's age, maybe till he's about 2, 3.
Here we have some of our food, defrosting in the sunlight on the back of the car. Doesn't look very nice at the moment, but I'm sure it soon will be. Got some fish there. We've got some lamb there. And I think we've got some octopus, a piece of octopus in one of these plastic bags here. And some chicken pieces. How's this interesting mixture? Coming inside the barn. Got our chief house cleaner here. Cleaning the floor.
And Derek's being our usual Smith handyman, applying some candle to the sticky drawer.
Candle wax so that the draw slides in and out easily. Not obvious. The average unhandy man, he wouldn't have a clue why you're putting wax on a drawer for.
Don't forget to show the...
Yes, we can take this opportunity to show the stag's head. Shot by Dad at least 20 years ago, and having been proudly displayed in the chief place of honour in the barn for many a year. 14 years ago. 40 years ago.
Before we were born.
If one's careful, one could count the number of points on it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Usually stag's heads are graded on the number of points. It's a 9-pointer. I think the world record's about 18 or something.
Does that tell how old they are?
It's got to do with their age and their condition of the animal, how well they've eaten. A number of different factors. How's the draw going, Brother Dicky? You got it sticky?
Not very well. Other problems.
Other problems, we need to shave off a bit of wood, do we?
Yeah.
Something bites the dust.
Here we go now. We're starting for the third hole. Now Justin went out to get some wood. He came back and he decided that we shouldn't dig the hole in the middle of the garden. And he's going back to try and dig it back here again. So let's go have a quick look at the other hole too. Get them preparing some of the meal.
That's a good idea. Excuse me.
Killing the potatoes there. And now we see this is the wood that Justin just went up to get. Okay, got a nice stack there. He took his chainsaw up. Okay. If we come over here, we'll see the hole that Craig and I and Zafar and Brian dug. Okay, but they decided that it's a bit close to these trees around here. And they might burn. So it looks as if we'll be filling in this beautiful hole that we've made here. And over here we have some of the wood that Tulua was chopping up. These stones here. Lovely. What's in that, Mum?
For the little handmaiden of God, roimata, with the highlight from Grandad. September the 2nd, 1987. That was her birthday.
Lovely, thanks, Mum. And here a few minutes ago we had some Baha'i prayers after we found that people were building 2 holes for hanging, and so we said our prayers, and after consultation and
unity.
Everyone said some prayers, and we've now made a vote. We're going to go back and try a new method, so we're going outside and watch the hole being shifted again. And here's Tulua shifting the stones.
I'm coming straight to you.
The third time it's been shifted apparently. And the boys over here again filling in the hole, I think.
This has been used for food in the past, you know, Justin. You see, the Maoris have been eating here for centuries. So whatever happened, you're sleeping on a food place.
Brilliant cultural observations over
I
here.
think you better move the whole house because you're eating on
Here's my brother Craig noting the wood. If he used a bit of thought, he could have backed up the car and not have come close.
Can't see that light. Here we are now with this is the third attempt at digging a hole. And you see how Becky's got his wife working here on her hands and knees.
Because we can take some of these tools back, we don't need them all there.
You got quite a way to go there yet, haven't you?
No, that's big enough
Yeah?
for the basket.
Okay. Okay, here we are getting the rack ready to put the food in. Okay, got Justin down there. We just had a prayer session, and we unanimously decided that we'd fill in the hole out in the front that we dug, just Craig and I dug, and then we were back into the original hole. Going on in the kitchen, what are we doing there? It's lettuces and tomatoes for a salad.
Tell me around that the children have to use them too.
Hey, smile, look. Picture, we're going to see it in TV.
Yeah, will you put you in the home here, girl?
No, not again.
Are you sweet? Plenty of meat on you?
I'm not with my swimming clothes on.
Why have your swimming clothes on?
Is that for cooking the food, Justin?
No, it's
Put the rocks in that? Yeah. You're going to put penina in it and put it on the fire?
yeah, burn her up.
How about that, penina?
They say salmons are nice and sweet to eat, eh? Except when they're all like tulua, that tough. Not worth eating, those ones. Young sweet ones.
And some of the wood ready. Brendan, you helping down there?
Brendan. We're not chopping Brendan around. Brendan, you'll get in the way, young man.
Which is now filled in, you know it. Well, we got good exercise from that, digging that hole there. You helping there, Brendan? Brendan! You, Brendan!
Brendan!
Brendan, over here! Hi! What do you got there, Brendan? Huh?
You got to tell me this grandmother will be having fits seeing whipping around with a...
Oh, you got an axe there? Yeah? What are you going to do with the axe, Brendan?
This will be good to get in the fire, Jack, anyway, some of this stuff.
Okay. You're going to cut yourself off with that axe, aren't you? Hmm? It's very... Hey, Brendan! Oh! That's a dangerous bit of machinery you got there. Sawing a piece of wood? Why don't you get out the chainsaw, Derek? Huh?
You get no exercise with the chainsaw.
No exercise, huh?
I need it.
Tina, what do you think? You think your dad should get the chainsaw out? Hmm?
What are you telling
Come here.
You can't hear? You think your dad should use the hacksaw? Not the hacksaw, the chainsaw to cut the wood. Hmm? No, the chainsaw, the electric saw. Yeah, he should, shouldn't he? Yeah, why is he using an old handsaw?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay, he's really getting into it, but he's slowing down. You notice his arms getting tired now? Okay.
Well, axe is much better.
The axe is better, you reckon?
No.
No?
Then it's
Oh. Okay, Brendan?
Yeah, Brendan, keep away.
Oh, Brendan's going to use a saw now.
Dangerous, the little man.
Look out, Brendan. It's coming.
Okay.
This is the electric saw. I hope that can't
So is
switch on
Christmas.
to it.
No, that's the chainsaw. This big stuff will take quite a while.
Yeah, they are getting some vegetables to put in the hanging.
Fork might be better. Fork?
Daddy, you know that me and Ducky used to take it with our head. Me and Ducky, sometimes with our head.
What's that, carrots down there?
Yes, but the mother's watering hasn't done much work. It's hard to walk.
Oh, at least we got one nice cabbage there.
It's very little, mate.
Yeah.
Go and go close up, Bonnie.
Hey, you put that. No!
Yes, but I thought we'd just get the small one for now to live in the possible.
Ta-dam, ta-dam! Oh, the big one.
Still don't get the idea of the process. Yeah, we got some good carrots there.
It's nice being the old queer, as the Maoris say.
Yeah, well, you're the
learned old woman
old granny.
who can sit down, give advice, and not do... Yes, Q-U-I-A in Maori. Isn't it, Brendan? That's enough for me,
Coming out here, Brendan? What have you got there, huh? Hey, that's not the way to look after the carrots.
Come on, Brendan, let's take them to Auntie Gloria in the kitchen. Good boy. Take it to Granny. Brendan, take the carrot to Granny.
already.
Come on, darling.
Take the carrot to Granny. Good boy, take it to Granny.
Come on, love. Hello, Brendan.
Take the carrot to Granny. Good boy. Take it to Granny. Take the carrot. Take the carrot to Granny.
Take the carrot to Granny, Abby.
Good.
And I'll take them to Granny.
Oh! Oh, Penina's going to take it to Granny. You side? Okay, we've got the hole dug. We've got some wood down there. Getting ready to put the stones on. Light the fire, is it, Justin?
Yeah. Justin hasn't got his normal flamethrower.
Yeah, you need to bring over the kerosene, or you can light it with one match and a... We'll see what this guy learned when he was in the Boy Scouts.
Petrol.
Petrol, huh? Over here we got some of the banana leaves and... What are those other leaves? Besides the... What do you call those leaves, those big ones?
Well, they're almost like taro leaves.
Taro leaves, huh?
There's different variety of taro. I don't know the Maori name, but in Samoa they're called tamu.
Tamu.
They're growing over here.
Do you think they'll give the food a good flavour?
I don't get a fish flavour of the food.
How many matches have you used so far, Justin?
One.
Just one, huh?
By itself, it'll be right. So straight across, right?
I see a bit of smoke.
Uncle Justin, have you got any more deck chairs, please?
Yeah, in the shed, boss. I'll get them soon.
Is the fire going?
Hopefully.
So it'll be right in summer.
Don't really smoke. Very little.
That seems a lot of stones, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got more than enough, I'd say.
Justin, I thought you had that river stone.
Well,
I think they might crack up a bit, don't you think?
they might have bit, but I went up the river last night and I couldn't find any decent sized ones, so I went over to Joe Pickens and got them off the waterfront over here.
Right now, going right up to the neighbour's house there.
We're the man of talent, eh? The action photographer as well, eh? What that fella does, the
And here comes our dad arriving at the beach, historic occasion. And boss, ooh, see the smacker. And the mailman as well.
Okay, we're not interested about the outside world now, Dad.
Well,
We've left all our money problems behind.
I've just been hearing about the money problems of you blokes. Never taking your money out of Australia.
You know, Dad, welcome to the beach.
Thank you very much. Don't tell me this is coming on tape.
It sure is, Dad.
But
You'll be
it's
seeing
very
it.
nice to have you boys taking photographs of your father.
Oh, Dad, you're
Maybe the
the...
last that you'll be taking.
Anyway, we've got the hunger going, Dad.
You've got
Be
the
ready,
joint.
be ready in a few hours.
And when are you going to pull the pig out?
No, we got a leg of pig pork yesterday.
Did we? Oh, it's very, very nice. There's plenty of opossums in it, I presume, too.
Craig, would you like me to take the photos?
Ah, thank
Dad,
you.
it's all right.
So, how do you like the
Here is your mail from your mum and dad,
Thank you.
which I thought would be of interest to you.
Very nice, yeah. Thank you very much.
Derek. Well, Shirley, Whangarei Library, behind the library.
Thank you.
I don't know what the library is, but you forget about that. Craig Williamson Michael. Craig Warren, Basil Smith. And Zed.
Thank you, Papa.
Oh, I don't know what that one is. Craig W. Smith and B.B. Smith.
Some of the money. So, Dad, what do you think of the section?
I came out here a little while ago to look at the section. All I thought was damn dust. Damn dust.
You have to be careful what you say, Dad. This is video.
It doesn't matter.
We'll be shown all around the world.
From Dad.
I had
Come on, Justin,
a
come
very
on,
nice
Justin,
trip
you're
till I hit the end of the Tower Seal, and then all I had was boats and caravans and dust.
Craig, let me take you with us, Dad.
So I've stopped. Well, explain
Justin, to get a bigger chair for
when
me.
you're ready, Vaughan.
Uncle Justin.
Remember, this is going all around the world to...
I know, it's all right. Just explaining on for the sake of New Zealand, for the sake of your father who enjoys a can of beer, the way that a can of beer is
Have
opened,
it here, please, Penina.
open it like that,
Don't take it, Warner. You're not taking it out.
Well, why not?
and why not? Now you drink out of the can now and push the lid down.
Nothing so interesting about Dad's swilling beer. Well, I don't think it's very nice.
I think that's very
I
nice,
think it's
and
vulgarity.
it's not,
high
you may think
picture.
it's...
This is who you married, Mum.
Yes, I
So-
know, dear.
And this is our dad. This is our dad.
I couldn't
Thank you
have
very
seen
much
the full
indeed.
future.
This is how you remember me.
I couldn't have seen into the future, though, could I?
No, but you were with me
You
for so
wouldn't
many
have just
married...
in the future, married a nice man, but all his sons are terrible ratbags who make all trouble around the place.
It's very nice indeed. It's very nice to
Have you read your mother's letter?
Sorry, I'm
Oh, well.
picking out myself and you good people.
All right, Justin.
All right. Then,
Should we go for
dear Mum and I won't say any more.
Not
You said her piece.
Not about beer, darling. It's not an interesting subject.
Well, it isn't to you, but it is
It's
to
a
me
very
because
common,
I
ridiculous
enjoy...
subject to most New Zealanders, but not to us.
Well, there
Not
we
to
are.
us.
Thank you.
Bonnie, you're not still taking it, darling, are you?
Just taking a little bit.
We don't want to do it.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. I don't
I
want to be
missed it.
taken like this.
I miss the
Like
taste of beer
relaxing in
myself.
Old clothes and hot and hard. I'd rather not be taken. I don't want to be taken like this, do you?
Well, I'm not in very good clothes, I must admit. Oh, the van looks very nice, and so do the people around it.
You can sit down there,
Oh,
Penina.
Brendan there.
Party.
Red Brendan they call him.
Red is a rascal.
Red.
Say
Nina?
hello to Grandad, Brendan.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
Brendan,
Thick. Like the thick.
she's got a stick and a bit of wire.
Oh.
Oh, Brendan wants a drink, does he?
Don't give him any, Dad.
No, I'm not going to, no.
Oh, Dad gave to
No,
Tib
no.
and T.
No, that's for Grandad. That's for Grandad. I like the cold.
Can I hold it?
You can hold it for a minute if you want. Oh, it is cold. It's very cold. It came out of the fridge at home in West
Brendan, have a look over here.
131 Ware Valley Road.
Yeah, you're in the picture.
Brendan!
This little guy, we're trying to train him to keep his hat on in the hot sun.
Well, it must be nice to return to the beach after so many years. And to see the old barn hasn't changed one. A bit of rotten wood needs replacing and some work for Justin to do. Needs new boards on.
Yeah, Justin, in the first part of the video, he talks about the history of the barn.
Who did it?
Justin.
did a very good sort of preamble about the whole area. He went up onto the various mountains and
Did he?
indicated.
Did he indicate that when we first looked at the barn there was only one window in it and all the rest were big wide doors through which hay was thrown from the days when it was a hay barn in Manu Whangarei before it was ever brought out here. It had not been painted, it was all a rough-sawn kauri and would be, I think, now getting very close to 100 years old. I may be wrong on that figure, but I don't think so. When we first looked in through the window, I was with Shirley's mum and dad,
Poppy Nana.
Nana and Poppy Hill, and the whole of the place was basically just covered in rat dirt. And Poppy says, oh, you wouldn't buy a place like that. And I said, I think he's got future. Look at the lovely section. Because we didn't have these other houses then built all around that we have today. And our water supply used to come from a little water tank at the back of the barn, which had to be replaced every few years because the salt water and the atmosphere soon rotted it, despite the fact it was so-called galvanized, that's covered with zinc. And we had many, many happy days, and I came out here and did alterations to the barn and put a ladder where Bobby could climb upstairs, and a little room that had baby written on it, which some of you boys all slept in when you were young. We've never changed the door. The entrance is still the same wooden door that was there when the barn was built.
You can show the barn now.
You can swing round to show the barn if you wanted.
The barn is...
I think we got plenty of pictures of it actually.
Very right.
Did it used to be those top windows there? Didn't they used to have wooden shutters that opened? And
There had wooden shutters that opened at the top, and one is now taking a photograph of, and they used to be open and held open by a rope that went through a pulley on the end of the barn with a big iron weight on it. So when we opened the window, that would swing open and the wind couldn't blow it, couldn't close it. The other door we used to close with a nail that had a bend in it, so that which did swing open could be held open, or if it was closed, it would remain closed. So at night time, we'd quite often leave it closed and leave the other half of the door that was on with the iron weight, holding it open in the night to let a current of air go through the barn where all you boys were sleeping. Mum and I always slept downstairs, and very rarely have we ever slept upstairs.
Well, the boys slept upstairs in the hayloft.
That's right. I did put on about 10 years ago another roof on top of the other one, which was rusting, because we wanted not only to protect the iron underneath, but to ensure that there was a cushion of air, you might say an insulating cushion of air, between one roof and 2 inches below it on the old galvanized iron roof, which is made of galvanized iron which came from Australia. So it was a heavy duty one, but it started to become rusty, and therefore we decided to put on the second roof over the top.
You can still see the original Cowrany weatherboards with the unusual design of the boards being vertical as opposed to horizontal.
Well, all Burley buildings in New Zealand, before they learnt about weatherboards, all of them used to put up vertical strips, and then to stop the rain getting in, they used to put down a little bat between the holes of the strip. And the way normally half an inch left, saying it was Cowrie, because Cowrie does not last very well if it becomes damp. It'll last for years and years if it remains dry. But once it becomes damp, it rots very quickly. And when Mr. Homer, who put the front onto the barn with me, we found that a lot of the timber under there, which had not been able to dry out, was rotten, and that had to be removed.
And so there's a new front on the barn now. They put just
Fibrolite front was put on to cover the timber, which was somewhat rotten in places. And there was a very rotten place on the kitchen window, which we had to replace some of it, but some areas we just couldn't get at. But we had to ensure that from the electrical point of view that we had safety and was acceptable by the local electrical authorities.
Vaughn, would you like me to video a little bit so you can sit with your dad?
Yeah, okay.
Back from on top of the hill, where he's been preparing the moo-moo.
I understand Derek's been making your first, what do you call it? Moo-moo. No, well, you call it a moo-moo in Papua New Guinea or in Samoa, but here, what do the Maoris call it?
Hangi.
Hangi. And that's how they used to cook their food on the hot stones, which I presume has already been explained, to the video and to stories about how they're made. Presumably
Yes, yes. Justin already got a few shots of preparation of fire.
The background here isn't very thrilling, but I guess it's
In
shady.
the background, you may see, if I move, you may see some of the original boats in the back there, which I made, one of which I made myself in the basement of the garage. It was called Baz Sher, and the boys had a lot of fun. That was only 7 foot long, but they had more fun out of that boat than any other boat. Also in there is a little yacht that I bought for the boys to teach them how to sail. But they are now rotting away gradually, and sadly, it's sad for me to look at them and see the deterioration that's taken place. But we had lots and lots of fun in those 2 boats, and I had a 12-foot boat, plywood boat, made of marine ply, and that's where I used to take them right out to sea in the distance over there. We would go out 4 or 5 miles, sometimes even further, in that boat, looking for bigger fish and more fish. In those days when I first came here, we had no trouble in filling up what we used to call a sugar bag. That's a small bag. That was easily done. But we had big sacks about that high on the ground, and we could virtually fill one of those in an hour with fish. Today, unfortunately, due to trawler activity and our export markets, this whole area is virtually denuded of the type of fish called snapper that we used to get. Now there are very few fish, and you may go all day and sometimes hardly ever get breakfast out of it. There's a tremendous change, and this has all taken place in 15 years or so.
Right, well, if you could all congregate somewhere where I can get all 4 boys and Dad.
Under the shade would be better, wouldn't it? Tell Dad to sit in his throne again. Dad, you sit in your throne.
He's as good as anywhere. How's it to go and beat the Japanese in the war and they come back to take
Brendan's at my knees. Craig, could you please
Brendan! Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, I'm good.
Come over here.
Some would make sense. Maybe some we can take ourselves.
Oh, tired fellow.
Monkey man.
Now hang on, there's some person missing.
Well, Mrs. Mother, I think. Mrs. Mother!
Is my wife gone? Oh, there's 2, there's a few wives missing.
Come out.
Stop recording that.
Let us this one.
Oh, sorry, 46.
No,
It's 50 kilometers.
kilometer. Bangkok.
Sit down here, boss.
Why don't you have some nice
Sit down, Granny. Oh, Mother.
Sit down, Grant. There's no place for them unless we're going to sit out the sun.
sweetness? Come on.
What is this for?
What about little Brendan?
We're just having a chat with Dad.
The distance actually is 46.4, Justin.
46.
Equivalent running rate of travel, we get paid 55 cents a kilometre at present by the government for mileage expenses.
Coming.
Leanne, if you're too far away, you won't pick up the sound.
What does that mean, Justin?
They don't intend to pick up the sound.
There you are. What do you mean? Literally, it's the breath of life. It holds the breath of life. When your baby's first born, it's that's the pH. And moldy order, spirit of life.
What does that refer to?
At the beginning of a speaking demonstration, so basically you order, I'm about to speak and say things, behold.
Little Brendan, you're not going to stand still, are you?
Well, Justin, your garden has done well, although it's looking a bit sick at the moment. Because we've had such a long, dry spell. The first time we've had virtually 3 weeks with no rain whatsoever.
My first legal garden.
Your first legal garden.
Oh, Justin, does that mean you need to
Shut up,
go?
no.
Yes, I did it.
Thank you.
If Basil's drinking beer, I can mention.
Of course, one advantage is
Oh, good.
dry
Brendan
spell.
again. Another shot of Brendan. This is Brendan leading to a walk.
And you are the little fellow that broke your hind
When
leg.
do we get a glimpse of the beauty of the sea with those red flowers? and
She's
stuff?
been over there, she's just done it.
The fourth time.
Ah.
He's bringing them. Static shot.
You're not still down here.
It's quite boring.
Yes, where are the girls?
Your dad's been giving us the mystery of the bones. So that's
Mother, what are you doing?
Well, there we are. Here's the nicest Niagara. Right, look in the distance. Boy, I can actually see a lovely beach, which is called Mimiwangata.
Like a
And
ribbon.
Like a ribbon. It's a long way away, but that is where the Queen, when she visited New Zealand, used to come in the royal yacht. And they'd go ashore, Leanne, on a very private beach where they could enjoy their privacy and enjoy their swimming. Mimiwangata has now become a national reserve.
So this is obviously a very high class.
Oh, well, it was a very select area in the early days. It was secluded. We had hardly, originally the settlers who settled out here there were 3 or 4 farms. Then all the miners from Hikurangi, all normally North Country English miners, came out and settled in a town called Hikurangi, which is on the way back into Whangarei. And like all people at home in England, they used to have a week's holiday, and they'd come out here with their tents, and they'd all come out by horse and cart, or even push their way out. It's about 20 miles, and they'd have a whole week here on the beach. That was how people first came to Accra. The early miners, when Mum and I first came here, a lot of the little batches on the beach actually belonged to the surviving miners, who we got to know very well, and whom we used to go fishing with.
Where does that word batch come from? I've never heard it. It comes from the word bachelor. It means living rough, living rather crudely. When your wife's away, your cook's housekeeper's away, and the man of the house is bachelor. Is bachelor. Living rather roughly. And unfortunately, our place is the only original rough batch left. People have put up very nice places. We're rather less in the
That
past.
is certainly worth repeating, I think, darling, that this is one of the few batches such as we've been talking about that actually remain.
Yes, because we've chosen to do it
to leave
right
it.
or wrong. It might have been wise if we had put up a better
Built a
place.
better place in the front, but we didn't want it, and we didn't need it for our children, because the main thing, as far as I was concerned here, was for the kids to come out, to enjoy themselves, and I was able to teach them all about fishing, and Mum was very good. She'd try and help them with swimming, because it's a lucky beach, because there is no current that can take you away and drown you. What is the word now?
No backwash.
You don't get a backwash or a rip or a tidal rip that in most places in New Zealand can be very dangerous, and the beaches have got to be patrolled by special patrol people who hold up flags between certain areas in which you're allowed to swim. But here, the whole beach, you see, is safe. And also, we have, lucky here, we have an ever-changing picture. One day, it may be calm. The next day, the breakers can be rolling in. And on the offshore islands, which probably you have already seen on this film, we used to see in rough weather, when the wind was blowing from the east, we'd see the waves break right over the top of what we used to call Henry Island, out there in the distance, where I'd take the boys fishing. Not under those conditions, of course.
Justin mentioned last night that you actually went and did some research on the outlying.
Yes, that's the poor night's named by Captain Cook. About 20 miles away.
Well, the research that I did, I was part of a team who left Whangarei, and we had to have permission from the Internal Affairs Department to allow to spend a week on what I call the Poor Knights. Now, they're a very famous group. They were named Poor Knights by Captain Cook, because he looked as though it was a knight lying on...
An effigy.
An effigy of a knight, all right. It was a wonderful week we had there, because we were investigating Maori sites. We had geologists investigating rock formation. We had entomologists investigating the insect population. And the thing that fascinated me most of all was what are called the stormy petrels. They're a bird. Yes, you can call them shearwaters if you like too. But each night they'd come in to nest. They'd spend the day looking for food. And at the same time, you could almost set your clock to the minute. They would come in to their little babies to feed them, and the whole thing is a massive bush and covered, but each one knew exactly where to go. Well, just before I finish, and I don't want to harbour long on the history of the poor knights, the most important thing about them is that on them there are a unique species of animal only found in New Zealand called a tuatara, and apart from two eyes it has a third eye on the top of its head. And we used to have quite an interesting time studying.
It's a relic from the age of dinosaurs.
A relic from the age of dinosaurs, Mum's right.
Like Mum.
No more.
Mother, do you have any recollections of either the boys or your grandchildren as they come to the beach on their holidays? Any of the thrills that...
Well, I do remember that when we used to come out for a weekend, we'd arrive on a Friday evening, probably about 6 o'clock, and I'd have a lot of food packed and have a meal and then of course have a swim. And then to get them to bed was quite an because they were so excited. And to get them to sleep was always difficult. On that Friday night, Dad and I would be sleeping down in the lower regions.
Oh, we used to call the lounge comes
bed-sitter room. And the boys would be up the ladder in the loft. And they would get so excited. They'd all be talking the top, and they just were always hard to sleep on a Friday night, and I'd be shouting at them, "Stop talking, boys!"
Just like last night you were shouting at
And another thing is we always, out in our front lawn here, we used to have deck tents, deck quoits.
Quoits, we said quoits.
Yes.
And we used to play cricket on the front lawn too.
Yes, we encouraged games, and we didn't seem to have to mix with other people much because the boys were an entity. The 4 boys, 2, 4, 6, 8, or 3, 3, 5, 7, 9 years of age, they always entertained one another, and so we seldom had to bring other people. When Justin and Craig got older and they were left with the other boys away, we'd invite friends to accompany them there. And when Ted made his first visit here, he stood at the door of the barn and looked up the steep hill to the bare sloping crown of the hill, and he got so excited because it was a stormy day and the clouds were scudding past in the sky, and he hadn't seen them like that around the entire land. Bangkok doesn't seem to be.
Well, we generally never see the sun.
Very little interesting cloud formation. And the little boy looked up and was so excited. "Oh, the sky's moving! I want to touch the sky! Let me climb the hill and touch the sky!" It seems so close. The clouds seem so close. You felt really get to them.
Did any of the boys ever fall down the ladder? It wasn't a proper set of stairs. It was just kind of little wooden steps going up. And as Mum just said, I think most of the boys, all of them fell down once or twice.
Yes, they all seemed to have to learn the hard way. It was no good saying, "Be careful, take care." They had to climb up a few steps and all fall down each time, so they were more cautious. But they were all autumn babies, and it meant that, well, of course only Justin and Craig were born in Whangarei. So it meant that when they were just learning to walk, they came out here. They didn't have to go through a crawling stage. We used to shut down the barn every winter at Easter and not come out again until Labour weekend, the end of October.
That's not quite right. We used to pop out occasionally to mow the lawns. Just for a day. We wouldn't stay the night. It was too cold and miserable because we had no heating inside the barn.
We had electricity.
Well, yeah, a little bit of electricity.
So
we did eventually
purposely kept it as a summer place. That's why we didn't improve it very much. But I did have my garden a bit more suitable for sitting out, and I always had a group of deck chairs and served tea out in the garden. Wasn't so much as a fishing shack as a possum shack, as Justin says now. Hard to find a place to sit.
It was a very good, useful place to fillet the fish on when we used to catch our fish. Because I used to put the car headlights onto the bench there where we'd actually fillet the fish. Because in the morning, quite often, the best time for catching fish is at the change of light at night or else in the morning. So I'd set the alarm when it was still dark, and I'd wake up one or two or sometimes occasionally three boys who would I'd take out in the boat very early, and we would actually be at sea when the dawn came. And that's when we seemed to catch most of our fish. But then we had to lug them all back by the sackful, as I mentioned before, and the job of scaling them and filleting them and then putting them into the refrigerator. We did eventually have a refrigerator. We did not for a start, but we used to put the car headlights on, and then we'd work for an hour or two. The worst part of fishing is not catching. It's damn well cleaning them once you've caught them.
Did you ever smoke them the way Justin?
Yes. I used to have a primitive smoker built out of a 44-gallon drum, and I built a wooden box on the top, and that is how we'd smoke our fish. And this used to interest the boys a lot. We'd have to do it very carefully in the whole process, so gradually starting with a little fire and building it up a little bit hotter to dry off the fish, which had been covered with salt and sugar. And the basic idea behind smoking the fish in the old days was it was to preserve them. But it also imparted an unusual flavour, which people still do because they like the flavour, not to keep the fish. But yes, it was primitive, and once it went up in flames, the whole box went up, and we had to get another big box. You can't get those sort of boxes today. But I think Justin has got his own more advanced method of smoking fish. But
clothes dryer.
Fishing never interested me. I only enjoyed the sea bathing, especially that morning swim, that early morning swim I've always loved. And sitting around us reading.
Yeah, Mum was
That's all
she wanted to do. Even talking, yes, talking I'd agree with. And also you always had to have a swim.
Not talking,
walking. Sorry, no.
And visiting friends. Yes, I always used to go to
We used to have one or two friends on the beach.
What were some of your happiest memories, Mum and Dad?
I think the happiest memories were just relaxing out here with the boys.
Reading with a pile of books, that's all I wanted.
Mum was quite happy to read. I never enjoyed reading to the same degree. Mother did.
And tell us now, for prosperity, who really is Santa Claus?
Posterity.
Oh, you boys found out who Santa Claus was, because at Christmas time it was my job to fill up 4 sugar bags with presents in them and try and climb up these steps while the boys were all asleep, and they wouldn't hear me.
Justin stayed awake one night to see Santa Claus and said, "It's only Dad."
I wonder if I have to leave this bottle of beer out for Santa Claus, eh?
But I've always looked upon Santa Claus as a bit of a bogey man.
And how did Santa Claus used to fit down the chimney, Dad?
We didn't have one.
He never got down the chimney. I say he had to go up the stairs. Not.
has this war bandage on his knee, so he keeps falling over and blocking his knee. Knees like, oh! He's seen the dog up on the beach.
Here we have Justin and Derek just getting ready to lay our food into the honey. They're moving away a little bit of the wood that hasn't quite finished burning, and there's the rack with the glowing hot stones all ready to cook the food that's lying in a rack covered with banana leaves. It's very hot work, so they have wetted overalls on to try and protect themselves. And there are the stones, whoops, burning the grass underneath the stones. The rest of the family are down at the beach at the moment, having a swim. Oh, I can feel the heat myself from where I stand. Mother's just calling out. Justin, would you like me to film this continuously or selectively?
Whatever you like.
I think I'll just pause now until we reach a later stage. Brother Vaughan just coming back from a spot of surfing, and Huria with little baby Roimata, having been for a walk on the beach. That's Justin's fish smoker that Vaughan's just climbing over the fence to come and help his brothers prepare, put the food into the ground.
I'm only going to stand there. You have to use it. Might be easy to be pull it out. You just tip it over. So what are you planning doing now?
Still playing with fire, huh? See, that charcoal will be good for a barbecue.
Ooh.
Weird.
I think I'll take a few shovels full of this to make it barbecue those sausages. I'll bring a tray of dish.
Go the other way. Put it off the other side. This one then. I'll make it with you.
Right, there goes our dinner into the hole. And just in case it doesn't work, Brother Vaughan setting up the barbecue in the background.
Well done, Vaughan.
Covering it with banana leaves to keep in the moisture and the heat, and add a little bit to the flavour of the food.
How does this thing work?
Only one at a time, I think.
One what? Well, when was mine? Where's the shovel?
Well, it's certainly beginning to look like the real thing. How long are we going to leave it in there to cook for?
I missed all that. I guess I'm going to cook.
Justin, how long are we going to keep it in there to cook for?
Oh, I think about an hour and a half would be at least. Just lowering the temperature in it. Part of our pie.
We off to have a swim? Now covering it with the ground to keep in all the heat and help steam the food.
So, Popendetta,
You're... So what did you
says
just...
I've got a terribly big pot, but I think if you're taking a photograph of it, you will agree that it's really muscle.
Okay.
It's there. As long as I don't let it sag.
Dad, have you got the towel?
No, I haven't got a towel.
Mum's going on the beach, Dad. Don't need
Mother
one.
only has her beach.
You don't really need a towel anyway. Take this one.
Right. I like taking the sort of...
Come on, wash yourself up here when you
I'll wash
finish it.
myself, so I'll keep the towel there to dry, but dry by the time I come back.
Yes.
Right.
Walking down with Dad to the beach.
Yeah, I've got to take that plate to the side, get the sauce.
Really.
Do you want to go down?
Come on, Craig.
Oh,
Wait a second, Dad. It's not working yet.
I was just remarking to Leanne that this is a really old gate. I don't know whether it originally came off a church, an old church. I don't know. But when we came here and bought the place, it was there, and we've looked after it with tender, loving care, the same as I've looked after this gate, which I painted with waste oil every year to ensure that they didn't rot. Now I'm going to, even the old barn, look, the old sign that was written, Derek wrote there a few years ago. We could do with redoing. Well, I'm now going to have a swim there, and it will be probably maybe my last, but I'm going to enjoy one swim.
Seems to have taken him on this lovely, bright, warm Northland summer afternoon, and he's off into the water. 2-year-old barn. Can't quite see it. Stamp. Bloody hell. Coming around, back to Goat Island, Admirals in the distance. Henry Island, out in the middle of the water. Little brother Justin there, acting like a surfer. Dad's head in the background. Going for a swim. Justin acting very knows how to surf. Not making a decent wave. And he plunges into the sea. Dad and Justin. Justin giving his father a lesson on how to surf. My goodness, Dad's actually going to try it. Sorry, a bit shaky because there's a wave hit me. Dad is on the surfboard, waiting for a wave. There's a good one coming. Let's see if he can go. Why he's shoving his off? Here's your grandfather Smith.
Surfboard ride ever. Oh, no, I don't get off.
Just for Grandfather Smith has made history. The oldest surfboard rider in the Smith family. And on that dramatic end to Dad's swim at Oahu Bay.
Well, that was interesting. I can see why boys really enjoy surfing.
Next time, Dad, you'll be able to stand up. The boys will be putting together to buy Dad an air ticket to Hawaii. Leon comes to the rescue with a towel. Going up to see Mum. Sorry, it's not easy to hold this camera still when you're walking.
Is this yours?
Seagulls, a common sight at Oahu Bay. Boy, used to take great delight throwing stones and shells at these creatures. Never managed to clip one though. A bird of another kind. One little ratbag.
He's not a ratbag. Hey, Brendan.
He's a good boy when he's asleep. No doubt about that.
You're a good boy when you're asleep. And you got a stone in your mouth. Give me the stone, please. Look, take the stone out. Ooh, Brendan, your tooth come through.
Another tooth. How much is he? 6.5 now?
He's got the top molar and the bottom molar and 5 front teeth. Yee-hoo! Yee-hoo!
A little baby loves a bit of rough and tumble, this little guy.
I think Uncle Vaughan's prepared some sausages for those who can't wait for the honey.
Right.
Round five was 30 the right diameter.
Little sweetheart. From this one.
Justin, shouldn't you have some almond drink? You should have some almond drink.
Yeah, I'm not writing. You've got to put it. This tip there.
In the back here we've got the experts away. Craigie fellow showing how to fix up a chainsaw.
Also, it can't be straight across. This has got to be
Not listening to my angles at all.
Or on that side.
Thinks he knows best.
10 degrees down. 30 degrees.
Well done. You listened.
Approximately.
Oh! That $6 million man over here again.
You have a file, Justin.
There's one up on the back of you, up where the possum thing is, the green handle one. Thank you, Craigie, for doing that.
The other thing you can do is, when this groove gets a bit wide, you actually bang it in. Just hammer it in a little bit. So it closes the groove up a little bit. You know, do you have a vice?
In the little shit at the back.
Uncle Dickie. Uncle Derek. Penina, do you need me to wash your hair? It's all right. Very good.
Just
All right.
go over and get a shot over there by the girls.
Yes.
Oh, your uncle.
Good boy. Good boy.
So is that the leftovers of your sausage? That's right. Lift it up and chew on it again. Penina, are you all dressed?
Not yet.
Yeah. Ooh. Where are you off to?
What would I do?
When you were standing there, you must have lifted.
Oh, accidents do happen to my sisters. It's much better if I don't photograph that way though.
Taking photos in the sun. Huh?
Here we've got some expert builders. Here's Tulua, they're building her fale. Yeah. Boy Scout to the rescue.
Ta-dum, 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 ta-dum.
Hi ho, tanto!
Justin, I want to borrow this rope.
Hello. Right, where were we? Before we were so rudely interrupted. Now catch.
10 out of 10, Dickie fella. You've passed your Boy Scout team pitching badge.
Open up the little VW.
I don't mind.
Leave there, please. Where's Morning? Silly old Justin. Look, Roimata. Look, Pet. There's your daddy taking picture. There's your daddy. There's your daddy.
Here's our little baby girl. Roimata.
Little precious girl.
Here's our little Roimata. Sunshine. Roimata. Here's our little baby girl. Here's our little sunshine. Here's our little baby Roimata. Baby girl. Baby girl.
Look, Brendan.
Sunshine. Brendan. Here's your little girl.
Curry. Don't have it too long, Justin Smith, on the same subject. It's silly.
What a beautiful subject, Mum. Granny no mokopuna.
Darling, you look at Uncle's camera.
Ooh, yuck! Ooh, yuck! It's a penina! How are you, little sister?
She says they call her peanut butter something.
Yes, sometimes.
At school.
At my school.
Yes, they're cheeky, aren't they? You'd be Penina's sewing machine over here, I think.
Yeah, that's what the kids said. They said, Mommy, they called Justin's little niece Penina. After a sewing machine. I said, no, not true. What are you named after, Penina?
I don't know.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Yes, it means it's
It's a pearl, a beautiful little pearl.
No, I'm not doing
Have you
it.
got this
Hello.
little man in too?
Brendy's in with Granny.
Brendan, look at Grandad. Look, speak to him, Justin.
We've got a Samoan mokopuna, we've got a Dutch world citizen mokopuna, and we've got a little Maori mokopuna.
There you are. You speak to Uncle Justin. Attract him. Attract his...
Brandy! Brandy!
Brendan! Not Granny's glasses, do you?
I think we can smash. Good boy.
Thank you, sweetheart. Ta. Good boy.
Hi, Granny.
Thank you, darling.
Oh, Jen.
Oh, don't hit the baby. Don't hit the baby. Zaffa, Zaffa.
Kisses.
No. You made the baby cry, Brendan. Mum, you have to be gentle with the baby. Zephyr, come down near me and look at the camera, darling.
My hair isn't combed.
Doesn't matter, sweetheart. You look nice. You look lovely at any time. Come on, Penina, by your brother.
My hair.
Brendan gave her a clonk on the nuts. He was giving her kisses earlier. And
Good boys there, Pa.
a leg, yes. Poor little pet. I can't stand all this nothing. A pretty little breast there. What happened to her legs?
One side is out fast now.
Stretching.
Doesn't sit down straight, it starts to sit down on the side.
Stretching. Looking at the sky.
Happened to your leg?
Isn't she a sweetheart? She's so excited to touch. Feels so
roly-poly. Brendan was never a roly-poly baby. No, he wasn't. Skin and bones. Skin and muscle. Bone and muscle.
Also, the other thing is,
But never roly-poly.
the sides will get worn.
Brendan, are you chasing? Get your pants pulled up, Brendan. They're fast. Down to your ankles.
Granny and you and me. Why don't you tell
Sit on the beautiful rusty chair.
You come over and tell us about baby being Mama was just saying Daddy was saying she's nearly 5 months old in a few days.
Yes. She will be
In February. Yes.
And she came in.
on Tuesday, isn't it?
And she came into the world about this big, about 5 pounds, and Daddy picked her up in the bathroom. Little 5-pounder butter.
And we were saying that Cousin Ted was about, what, 1 1/3 kilo, wasn't it? About 5, I think he was just under 5 pounds. Ted?
How many kilos was it?
It'd be less
2.1? 2.1? 1.7?
No. I think he was just under 5 pounds.
2.25 kilos. 2.25.
A lot of it's brother, most of it's brother.
Is that a baby? Taking all the bad penny down, don't waste all that film.
We're getting Justin. Usually he's taking the movies and no one else sees them.
Granny.
She said, I've been taken, Uncle.
Ah.
Morning. I've been taken already. Roimata.
This is my baby over here.
Yeah.
My cook belong me up here.
Yeah.
A very good cook belong me. Brandon, come over here in the picture for a picture with Nana, Granny and Grandpop and baby girl.
Look at this girl stretching and struggling. Look at her. She's really strong.
But this is a this is a silent film, is it?
Come on, Penina, where's Brendan?
Which is silent.
This one's so quick. This is going to show Dad with his good set of hair and no glasses and little cookies.
I sometimes wish that all films and all things were silent. I like silence.
Silence is golden. So Dad can hear the races. All the people have been on the beach and Dad snuck upstairs with a cold beer watching the races.
And I had no idea, I couldn't remember the horse I put the dollars on. I left the list at home. I'll be here while there's another race, 2 races, and you're going to pick a horse and I'm going to put a dollar on.
And the Arnie's going to be coming up in another 3/4 of an hour.
3/4 of an hour.
Nice.
So he was cooking in the middle of the night, darling.
Well done.
Dad, can you stay out tonight?
No, I'm going home.
Got a game of golf tonight.
No.
No, well, just consider it, Dad.
No, I'm not going to consider it.
No, we'd like to show you the movies tonight.
I'm sorry, I'm not. I promised I would not.
When Mum went up to Bahai Summer School a few weeks ago down the South Island, Dad said very surprisingly, I'll come out and stay a few days. And he's now been at it for years and years. And the next thing we knew, he was out here moaning about the trip, but he was happy as Larry and he looked after us and he stayed the night.
He got ill.
He poisoned himself down with numb scrambled egg.
He was ill.
I'm very
I
proud of
was ill when I came out. Today I wasn't shaking at all.
Dad, if you look out to sea, I think you can see the birds are starting to work out there. Oh, can you see your eyes? Can your eyes see that better? tell me
I
about it.
can't see them now, but we used to look at them we used to look at them with binoculars. Do you remember? We get the glasses out. If the birds were working, that means the fish underneath the coweye would all be out there, and we'd dash out with a spinner and pull in coweye, which would then smoke.
Oh, I thought the birds been
swing around, you should be able to pick
The birds haven't been doing much. They've been lying around, I think.
You swing out, it looks like there's a boat.
Actually, I think the birds are working out there. Justin's got everything.
I don't think you can see that.
Never pair of binoculars.
Right, Four Nights Island, come out here. Look,
Here they are.
the right Four Nights Island.
You want to go out on the boat?
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
It's a coweye.
I'll hold it right.
You're not really mean it. You can't launch a boat that quickly. In that case, keep a bit of keep a bit of the camera sharp.
And here we have Justin's boat, which is still going by the looks of things. Still in reasonable order.
Dad used to have a lovely old fiberglass boat. We used to have to pull down the beach, take 3 people to launch it, and we traded through several ones. Had a little motor in the back. I ended up selling them all and selling other motors and buying this 12-foot aluminium boat, which is very strong and easy to maintain with a very big motor in the back. And I call it the Flying Fish. This is all my diving gear that I've been catching crayfish with.
Just carry on. Hello. Too close. That's better. Mine didn't get it. But...
Hi, baby.
Use it.
We're building bridges out of the walls, building bridges out of the walls, building bridges out of the walls that keep us apart. One more time. We're building bridges out of the walls, building bridges out of the walls, building bridges out of the walls that keep us apart.
Another one? We're going to get another song?
The band wants more money.
What song? Neighbours come in all colours.
Okay.
Neighbours come in all colours.
Yes, we know.
1, 2. Neighbours come in all colours. Red, green, yellow, and tan. Outside neighbours different, but they belong to the family of man. When my neighbour starts to ring, I can see the ring is in. Neighbours come in all colours.
Even if they're white, even if they're yellow.
Outside made of different thoughts, we belong to the family of man. When my neighbour starts to cry, it's human and it's us. Even if he has orange eyes,
That's it when he comes. All together now.
neighbours come in all colours.
Oh yes.
Red, red, yellow, and tan.
Outside's made of different thoughts. We belong to the family of man. Who remembers the last line? It's 3 verses. Ladies and gentlemen.
When my doorbell starts to
You
Head
play
it on.
with Roimata's little ear.
When my doorbell starts to ring,
Something
about love everywhere. I just. Do you know, darling?
No.
You want to sing, Mummy?
Another song.
There's your mummy.
Cover up effect. We're not competent.
There's your mummy.
Do you play music as well?
Come here, little peckers. You come here, little peckers. Here's my little pukundu. Who's my little pukundu? You want to sing a song too? Oh, you. I know that one.
The Queen of Carnival reigns.
It was taken on the border of Pakistan and Iran, Quetta.
Really, it's very nice, isn't it?
Of course it is. It's a stunning photography.
That man must have been a bit upset when he found you'd photographed him. Did he
No,
mind?
he was reading the paper, and I was getting a photo of that, and someone took a call it because he suddenly just swung around. And
Yes.
Can you get this picture of us for me?
Behind the flowers in the corner there. Oh, it's a lovely study.
He's winning an award on that one.
Very thoughtful old man.
Bazaar the bazaar.
I hope he didn't think, I wish that man wouldn't be so cheeky.
Well, that's just catching the photo of him turning around, and I smiled and he smiled back. It was alright.
Oh, that's good. Cheers. Intelligent face. What else?
Wants to wait till they
Go out with a full tummy.
Yeah, what are you doing there, Dickie?
Well, while we were pushing out the trailer, the poor old bike got its light squashed and it's broken, so Justin suggested we try super glue. So please hold that while I try and...
I thought it wasn't super glue.
The super glue is super glued up. Can't even get the lid off. Goodness gracious me.
Was it super glue?
Remove cap, it says. But unfortunately, easier said than done. The dispenser stuck inside the cap.
So here's Derek working on the bicycle with his
teeth.
With Zafar here.
My name's not Zafar.
The dog is watching attentively, ready to give any advice which might be required.
No, it's a African song. Those are African words and the English translation of them.
Oh, Baba, oh, Baba,
Blessed
is the stone.
Sweet.
Zafar, please sit by Granny. Zafar. Good boy. You must be tired out of swimming. I think you've got the best of you. It's good food. Stronger, much more muscle.
And the sea and the ocean and the middle. We're
Take the pictures out my morning.
Oh, Mr. What beautiful eyes you got, Zafar.
Look at the camera, Zafar. Good boy.
Hey, making funny faces.
Such a good boy. Isn't he, Penina? Isn't your big brother a good boy?
Yes, Granny.
You're a good girl. Yes. Well, yes, you are. And Robert is a good girl, and so is Penina. Good
And
girl.
so is Brandon.
Brandon's a good boy.
Making funny faces there, Zafar.
Yes, he has funny faces.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, he does.
Did you see those horrible faces that Uncle Craig did on the video last
Dreadful,
night?
weren't they?
Oof.
He made a funny face, then he put his
And he
face
had his mouth full of food.
Oh, yeah, when he put his tongue out.
What's that? Your mommy and
battery, I think the battery's going flat. Kia ora koutou, ngā hauri whā tino koutou. The hangi's going to be pulled up soon, and just to show that we are ngā hauri whā, or the four winds in our family, we're just going to say a few prayers together now, and then we might hear some of the different say voices of the different winds that have now been brought into the Smith family. Kia ora koutou.
I toku atua, whakakotai ngā kau o Opunama. A whakahuritia kia rātou, tau te kanga nui. Kia whai rātou ia tau whakahau, a kia noho e roto i tau turi. A whinatia rātou e te atua, ka rātou whai. A wātu kia rātou, te kaha hei panoa. E te atua, kaua rātou e waiho ko rātou waiwai, mā te maramatanga o te mātauranga. A whakarehare katia o rātou ngākau i tau aroha. Te tino tika, ko koe tō rātou kai āwhina, a tō rātou atua.
O God, our Lord, protect us through thy grace from whatsoever may be repugnant unto thee, and vouchsafe unto us that which well beseemeth thee. Give us more out of thy bounty, and bless us. Pardon us for the things we have done, and wash away our sins, and forgive us with thy gracious forgiveness. Verily thou art the most exalted, self-subsisting. Thy loving providence hath encompassed all created things in the heavens and on the earth, and thy forgiveness hath surpassed the whole creation. Thine is sovereignty. In thy hand are the kingdoms. In thy hand are the kingdoms of creation and revelation. In thy right hand thou holdest all created things, and within thy grasp are the assigned measures of forgiveness. Thou forgivest whomsoever among thy servants thou pleasest. Verily, thou art the ever-forgiving, the all-loving. Nothing whatsoever escapeth thy knowledge, and naught is there which is hidden from thee. O God, our Lord, protect us through the potency of thy might. Enable us to enter thy wondrous surging ocean, and grant us that which well befitteth thee. Thou art the sovereign ruler, the mighty doer, the exalted, the all-loving.
Saying, O God, my God, tie mine head with the crown of justice, and my temple with the ornament of equity. For thou verily art the possessor of all gifts and bounties.
O God, refresh and gladden my spirit. Purify my heart, illuminate my powers, and lay all my affairs in thy hand. Thou art my guide, my refuge. I will no longer be sorrowful and grieved. I will be happy, a happy and joyful being. O God, I will no longer be full of anxiety, nor will I let trouble harass me. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things of life. O God, thou art more friend to me than I am to myself, and I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord.
Thank you.
Keriko kia tauna I noho dirava bari nai, kua hanamoa be dirava, ia be dirava. I pauna I dia ini kaukara taudia, kona I pauna ina ura I dia kamunai.
Is the name of the mother of baby country, say God, say praise be God, He is God on the things in the Bible, I speak in the past.
God took down upon this Baha'i gathering with mercy, with compassion, with forgiveness. Soon they will be returning to the different parts of the world in which they live. Wherever they may be, may they be blessed, may they be loving, because my wife and I are rather happy that we should all be united in the light of our caste, be strong and lighten the souls of all here present.
Thank you, dear.
ผู้กำจัดความยุ่งยากทั้งหลายของนอกจากพระผู้เป็นเจ้าขอความสรรเสริญจงมีแด่องค์พระผู้เป็นเจ้าพระองค์คือพระผู้เป็นเจ้าทุกคนเป็นคนรับใช้ของพระองค์และทุกคนยึดถือพระบัญญัติของพระองค์ Fill thou, O God, our home with harmony and happiness, with laughter and delight, with radiant kindness and overflowing joy. As in the union of our hearts, the rounded mind, our lodging place, and there thyself mayest make this home of ours thine own.
Just Vaughan, do you want to take one of Justin's saying anything, or is he better out of the proceedings?
He's better to go and pull up the huggy.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Craig, hasn't he said?
Is Craig said Mama?
Yes. And, Leon chanted in Hebrew. Julia sang in spoken Maori. And Tulua spoke in Samoan.
And I spoke in the Motu language of the Papuan region of Papua New Guinea.
It wasn't an awful pigeon.
It's not awful.
Motu's.
That's what they said.
Yes, Vaughan spoke in Thai.
That's what they said about Anglo-Saxon was in the
Yes,
old
but
days.
Motu is a real language, isn't it? Pigeon's made up.
English was a hodgepodge of every bit under the sun.
Okay, sweetheart, I agree. And was that all we had? Thai and what else? What did Justin speak in? I'm sorry, not Justin, Craig.
Well, I'm getting...
He's our family's monoglot.
Derek's starting to rake away the ground from on top of our hangi
Daddy, there's sheep up there.
whilst they're preparing
Daddy, there's sheep
a place
up
to
there.
put it. And Zafa's just seen some sheep at the top of the hill.
Me too. Can you take a
Yeah.
picture of them?
Let me see if I can find the sheep at the top of the hill.
You see it?
Oh yes, I'll just zoom in on them a little bit. Yes. Right, Derek's just about to take off the top layer of old sacking, and there's our banana leaves.
Right, Mama. Help me. Give me your hand.
Well, that should be pretty well cooked now. Zafa to... Hello! Zafa and his cousin Brian, they're
Up here, climbing up on.
climbing up the hill.
Keep climbing, there's a sheep coming.
The sheep are coming to get them. Where's the sheep?
Up above them now, look. You've just noticed them. The sheep's wondering what's going on.
Oh, yes.
The sheep's going to run across to its mates on the other side of the hill. There they go.
Whee!
Go along. You boys go along and follow the sheep. Go. Hurry along.
dropping.
That's just over 200 to go and costing for leader.
And all the people pulling up the hung, here's Dad and Craigie Fella and Vaughanie. Upstairs hiding away from the work.
Yeah, it's no good.
Pretty close. Double leg. Garius front. Home for the money. One of these. Then the long second. Double leg. Followed by Flight King and Flowers. The Sim Flight runabout. Then Luke. Gruesome next. Gallipoli. Dungarvan and Stewart. Well next. It's the last. Followed home.
Well, so the favourite one, Darius Fun.
Well, it'll be very
And how much did you lose on that, Dad?
the credit away from Darius Fun, who's won the Foster's Wellington Cup. The mare that has been
wonderful
so
race.
close to winning the big ones. And she won here on the first day. She's come out and won today in the hands of Gary Stewart, the jockey that we so regularly associate with Bone Crusher. But she's won the one that mattered, the Foster's Wellington Cup.
I'd like to get the second and third, I missed them.
How she did it.
Well, it was always pace on in this year's cup, and Kosh King had turned for home and put a couple of beats on them. Threesome looked a bit of a danger. Let's see now for
Very
and also for the rail, it's a double leg.
This is upstairs in the barn, stuck around the far end of the door or thing. I've just come upstairs with the baby.
too dark.
There's the workers downstairs preparing the table.
Good back leg run from the south
Yep.
a double leg, but it's all Darius Fun. She's absolutely
Okay, we'll wife with you.
won it by 3 to 4 lengths. Banderolle is going to grab second, but what an easy win for Darius Fun. And she's gone down.
Right, well it looks like the moment of truth has finally arrived and we're about to uncover the hungy. The ladies are waiting in the kitchen for the arrival of the unearthed food.
This is the glove swapping ceremony. ancient ritual, this one.
And Zafar is here with me, watching the proceedings.
A mess under this store.
There's a mat that's covering the frame containing all the food. Just get rid of some of the ground.
Ground adds to the flavour of the food.
And there are some taro leaves.
Banana.
That's actually taro and banana. Taro that the boys picked from that clump just behind the barn earlier this morning, and banana as well from the other side. And there we have it.
Smells good too.
We can see the potatoes and kumaras on top, and some foil covered meat.
Lost a lot of weight.
Careful, Zafar, everything there will be pretty hot. I mean, yeah, Zafar.
Hey, Julia, and you too, and the way you look after our family. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Dad, for your lovely food. It's lovely having you here. It's so infrequent nowadays, it's still blessing.
Well, yeah, it won't happen again, but I mean, this is a special occasion.
Here's the tongs. Oh, here's the tongs. Take it onto use.
Oh, this is where our knives and forks went, Julie.
Disco.
With more to go?
Nice.
Katika.
Katika.
Oh, eke.
Oh, eke.
First, honey.
Can bring it down, Mummy.
Honey, just like that, touching the noses. There's another one here for you. Just open that one. Make yourself a big one again.
Four. Oh, no. You just wasted it.
Don't shake it. Don't shake it. Put the glass ready.
Let's get a plate of sauce.
I'm just going to get my little brother one brain.
Just wash it.
Well, where is it?
It probably won't pop out the side.
Well, I've got mine.
Got the food out?
That's all I have.
Have they?
All I'm allowed, they said.
Banana leaves.
That one's crispy almost.
Well, you
Cucumber. You don't
well,
get a lot of dicky
well,
right.
well, well, today, I mean, I wouldn't know.
This way, open it, watch this, you know. Hey! Oh, that's the way to do it.
Don't you babies try to go to sleep.
Can you take a white lick?
Boy, it only smells like real honey. There's your tongues. Let's make a bit more room there.
It's very good.
Can be.
You know, Kentucky Fried Chicken. This is lovely tender manuka sticks which Justin has put in there. They separate the kaya.
Oh, bad buzz.
Don't just stand
there.
What? You look silly enough as it is if there's two of us looking silly. Yep. My pin.
You have this. Move the...
Can you move the plate?
What a good mover of plates I am, mate. Is that what you're trying to say, Tulua?
This chicken looks lovely and crisp.
Some Coke?
No.
Certainly lovely and hot.
No.
This is Coke.
No.
No, thank you.
They don't want it.
Who was the queen? Right. You should say thank you, Brian. You should know.
I tell you, who's your leaf down? Look at Daddy's crayfish. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Dude. Just like Uncle Justin. The legs are the same as the crayfish, these ones here. This is the spider's legs, this is the crayfish legs. This one he's got the Cody stumps. Where's these plates?
There's a place there.
You don't want to make a ritual around here, Justin?
I'm going to ask Dad to say grace.
Right, we want to start first.
We don't have to.
Are you still there?
Would you mind when the food is ready to say a grace for us?
I'm quite happy to.
Thank you, Dad. It won't be long. Then your crayfish is going to probably be in the second little bit.
Some crayfish coming up.
Yeah, I got you 2 crayfish and the cooks were slow. They went to sleep. Come on, Brian, come over here, bud.
The dinner's served, and all the families gathering around the table.
Oh, serious?
They don't have to all be here, family. It's a simple.
Just for the kids that are going to copy. Come over here, Zephyr.
Just started.
Dad's going to say thanks to the ringawera, or the hot hands.
Can you see the little sister behind you?
There we are.
Close to the granddad, you come closer to my pet.
Thank you, Dad.
All right. Oh God, for what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. Amen.
Thank you, Dad. Kia ora te remember to the minister.
Good food.
Grab a plate,
What's the nice singing grace that Leanne taught us?
Feed the kids. Come on, Tulua. Come and grab our food. Make you nice and warm when I like meat, Brian. You're too skinny. Is this only steamed only? You're the karate kid. Just steamed?
Penina.
What would you like to do? Come and show
Just
me.
need to cook the potatoes nicely anyhow.
Well, look in the tin. If you can't find
You can't
then
want
get the white one.
No, I don't want that.
No, sweetheart.
Potatoes, Zephyr?
Love the chicken.
This is octopus done in coconut milk.
Thank you, darling. Thank
Wow.
you.
Just one more.
Yes, thank you.
Octopus
darling.
and
You know,
coconut milk.
I've had sausage.
Looks good.
It's beautifully cooked.
A little bit of mutton, boss? Bit of mutton?
No, thank you. Just the chicken will be lovely, thank you.
Mutton here.
Thank you. Nice.
How about a bit more booze?
That, my word, that cabbage has gone well, and
This here is a mother's trick. Mother, would you like some more?
no, thank you,
Would you
darling.
like some more?
No, thank
We've
you.
got to finish it up, Mother. Many years of practice we learned that one, eh, boss?
Unfortunately.
And if we don't eat tomorrow, we'll find it smuggled into our porridge in the morning or some other obscure thing.
Hardly.
And if Craig doesn't eat his greens tonight, he'll eat it tomorrow morning for breakfast.
Thank you. Don't you want anything, little Zappa?
says help yourselves, huh?
And they couldn't
Eat
find
plenty,
it.
Brian. Use the
But
great
why
we opened.
No!
Did you open some already?
Yeah, really.
That's right, sensible boy. That's very sensible.
Well built, he's not fat.
It's down, the open,
He doesn't want to get
the open one's down here, Justin, on the...
What do you want? You can have some.
Wing,
You eat it kumara.
I'm serving you. Penina. Up there. Up there, sorry.
Yes.
Up there, now up there. Up there. Up there. Penina.
Brian's facing the other room.
I think I had a glass on.
Appreciation.
How big did they?
My first tying attempt, eh? How's the first time I have first tying attempt, Mum? A qualified person like you.
Oh, marvellous, darling.
I know I am, but what about the hanging?
Girls did most of the work.
Oh, of course they did. This is the lady over here. My lovely cook below me.
No way.
Another one over here, our sister Tulua. Mrs. Eke herself. One hand to keep her husband in line, one hand to keep the kids in line.
What was the name of the little girl who was next to me, Zena's, who's the girl on the beach? Tita.
Nita.
Nita's little girl who was with me.
Tari.
What?
Tari.
Tari, that's right, Tari.
Lovely child.
Who's Nita?
Nita was one of
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
That's okay.
We can have some of this for dinner too, can't we?
Yeah.
As you can see, Dad has been out here for a day. He came out today at lunchtime. Mum stayed here last night, but he stayed here longer than he originally hoped. He hoped to stay till about 3, and it's nearly 7:45, so he's done very well. But he's tired now. He's gone through with Mum, and we've gone and taped the video, the movies of the boys, and made them into the video, and they discussed them.
And Granny's giving instructions for watering the garden.
Thank you, Granny. We love you.
You sure you don't want to have some more fruit before you go?
No, thank you very much. And dear Dad's got the bit between his teeth. He's going to gallop off in all directions.
Dad? Dad? Dad, I'm over here. Look, thank you very much for coming out and giving your time and coming out to the beach. It was lovely having you with us.
It's been a pleasure and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thanks. You can call yourself a real surfer?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
It's just nice to have a family like we've had grouped all together.
Thank you, Dad.
What's up? She's
Yeah,
giving
hop.
all our darling children. Thank you, Mum.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Mum.
Goody! You'll find you'll bring them back tomorrow.
Bye! Bye-bye! Where's Penina?
Seatbelt!
That's all right. My husband's right. Before people are in
Oh, they left the kuri behind, eh? And here's a sister.
Long. You went go long.
Should we go for a spin in the boat?
Oh, well, we don't have to behave well anymore. The parents have gone.
This is boy running around. It's a diggy fella. Look at him.
Hey.
Right, let's have a party now. Parents are gone.
Yeah, I'm crazy stuff. No more.
Look at Tulua's beautiful hair.
No more nice.
Look at the horrible husband. Don't say it, see? You got the other kuri coming to you now, Tulua. Kay doesn't know you're not speaking to him.
Pardon?
Oh.
Kuri.
Oh well, give me nice. Thank
Beautiful.
So I've taken majority decision which they're going to go. But they're about to go. there and look at these three and wonder how lovely it would be if the fourth one there, Sunanta from Thailand, were there.
Hold on the reins, he's really full of them.
Maybe it's good enough. Maybe the pure green. This one.
At the back we've got three sisters again. I stayed with them for a while, but I got sick of hearing about pregnancy and milk for babies and what happens when you stop giving milk, and I came up and joined the boys. Just walking on to the little jetty they've made at the far end. Quite a new addition to the Waipura front. Made with a bit of cultural objection because of this land up above us, up to the pa, is actually very tapu ground. That in the old days I heard they used to wash the bodies of the dead people before they took them off to bury them up in the mountains. It's very tapu, it's a place that you shouldn't camp and sleep, or especially the worst thing you can do is eat food or cook food up there, which some people in ignorance have done.
Great, huh? There's you four boys, children, girls,
The sunset, Justin.
Looking back across to where the old barn is. Sort of in the middle of those houses at the back. The adventurous one's now climbing up to the hill. So you can sort out the sheep and from the goats in the Smith family. First of the Smiths arriving up the top, and on the back straight they've got 200 metres to go. We've got Leanne coming out, but Brendan is kicking hard and he's taking the lead. He's going to win by a head, a nice white one.
Yeah, Brian! Love Brian!
Oh, what was this? Oh, it's tremendous. Yeah, go high up.
We've got way down the bottom, Voni, waving, and Craig and little roimata.
Went down there.
The pikers in the family. And we've got a guy coming up, tulua. She's coming in for a third place. She's starting out, taking big steps. Oops, she's about to give me a punch.
And bringing up the rear, we've got over here Auntie Hudia. That's the one, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Cook Belongme. Alright, sweetness. Where's my baby? With Uncle Craig. And what catch age?
I didn't want him to bring her.
A very considerate mother. Continue on down now. Along the ridge you just walked upon. A lovely, a very well formed pa over at Whakaturia.
Right at the top. Come, let's follow them.
Trying to sneak past here, these lovely ladies.
Where's your film, darling?
Never waste a film on you beauties.
John, Jack, okay, you help me out.
This way now. Yeah, there. And you want to do? This way. That's not Brandon. That's not Brandon. This way. This way. I guess this way now. What?
This way. Mary, come and line up. Come here. Come and line up for the four boys and the sisters. Come on. Let's all walk along.
Now definitely this pinky is the shortest.
Right.
How am I gonna walk?
Mom! Oh! So you can't speak English, cuss!
Can't speak.
These are the animals.
Maybe put him on a leash, Craig will be alright. Oh, another shot of Brendan. At least we've got Brendan. This is very important. In case he's living anywhere else, let's have a shot of Brendan trying to walk. Oh, very well done. We've got Brendan. This is the one. Look, my guitar. My Jack stayed on. Shot of Brendan. You should have got Brendan.
Derek said I got that photo.
Family's just about to return into the barn. Moving out across the ocean. On the horizon you can see what we call the Oakuda. I don't know if the zoom movie picks up or the red light as the sun is setting.
You are too heavy, Teddy.
And so as the family returns home, we can say here ends another day, a very historic and special day in the life of the Smith family.
So you're already putting on some suntan lotion, and so is Penina. Kids are being pretty fancied up. It's a lovely sunny day here at Oakura, and we're thinking of going up in the boat up the harbour for a bit of a picnic with some friends at a friend's place. Dicky fella's over the back making up some evil potion for drink. Tulua's been getting some food ready for the lunch. How's it taste? Great.
Good stuff.
A good vintage?
Not too sweet. That's right. Now we have a taste.
And here we are at Umanu Bay. Halfway up the Whangaruru Harbour. And here comes the majority of the Smith clan arriving for a picnic in Justin's boat. Lovely Umanu Bay. Glen Bay across there. With the sacred fire. Lo and behold, here comes the Smiths. This is the batch of some of our friends with whom we're going to be picnicking for the next hour or two. Originally this land here is owned by the neighbours. This is Maori owned land. And there's Prue coming down, our hostess for today, and some of her children running around. We are looking down to the bottom end of Whangaruru Harbour. Again, looking across to Bland Bay. But there's actually a thin spit of land with the sea just on the other side. And that's a peninsula heading out into the sea on the ocean side of Whangaruru Harbour. Now, if you look carefully out in the middle of the harbour, you can see what they call birds working. There's sea terns diving around for fish in the sea, underneath which there are kawai also chasing the little fish. Now here the lads going off to try and go trolling to catch some of these fish. The idea is they pull lures behind the boat which look like the small fish. The big fish called kawai are chasing the small fish, go for the lures and get caught. And the boys just pull them in. Beautiful eating, these kawai, and excellent fighting fish for their size as well. Here are these terns scouting around, and when they see the small fish which the kawai have driven to the surface, the terns dive down and catch the small fish for food. These birds, the indication that the fish kawai is schooling. Here these lads are coming in from their trolling for kawai. The big story. You guys got any fish to hold up? Two! Hold them up, quick! Woo-wee! Fishermen return! We're going to have a nice barbecue with these fish in half an hour or so. Kawai are best smoked. Beautiful to smoke them, but we don't have time, so we'll put them straight in a frying pan and have smoked fish for lunch. How's that? There's Kuri the dog. Come on, hold up the fish, let's get a good shot of them. Blimey, Zappa, that one's nearly as big as you. What a beauty.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! One caught the cat one. Look at this!
Well,
We caught three fish.
okay, you fellas, who caught it?
You catch that fish? No, I caught that fish. And he didn't catch any, and Uncle pulled it along.
Greg, do you want to go out?
I might go.
There's stacks of fish everywhere, but they're just not biting now.
Oh, I'd go for a spin. That's all.
Yeah.